If you're a truth seeker, you need to hear this. Your subconscious is trying to speak. Welcome to the only podcast of its kind, hosted by the legendary David John Oates. Dive into the world of reverse speech, where we unveil the hidden messages in the words of politicians, celebrities, and even you. Every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, join us as we decode the unconscious mind, revealing the truth behind the spoken word. With over 41 years of pioneering research, David John Oates takes you on a journey beyond the conscious realm. From shocking political confessions to the secret desires of the stars, no thought is too hidden. Discover what they're really thinking, and maybe what you're truly saying too. Tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Visit www.reversespeech.com to learn more. Reverse speech. It's more than just words. It's a window into the truth.
And good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Reverse Speech podcast number 35. Can't believe I've done 35 podcasts already. I hope you have enjoyed them all. And we will continue doing this for many, many years to come. Right, news. I've uploaded my latest book to Amazon.com. It's not out of the review process yet. It should be out this afternoon. So the book's entitled Every Secret Hidden, and it's subtitled Musings on Reverse Speech, the Bible, and Prophecy. And so it's a combination. It's sort of like it's a theological book. It goes into the Bible, but with a whole different approach to it. There's a whole chapter on where reverse speech is talked about in the Bible, so you'll find that fascinating. Anyway, it's called Every Secret Hidden. It should be available by tomorrow, I would hope. That's at the latest. For those of you who are on my Facebook page, I'll be posting a link on Facebook as soon as it's available. All right, this is the last show, excuse me, from my house for the next couple of months. I'm off tomorrow morning on my big trip, halfway around Australia, and you can follow my journeys on Facebook. I'll be posting photos every day and videos, and so there you go. Hello to Joe from Tasmania. Always good to have another Australian listening to the broadcast, and we've got Expialidocious. Oh, Expialidocious, right, okay, from the UK. And hello to everyone from America. All right, now this week, the JFK files were released, 80,000 pages of documents. From what I've heard on the media, the media have said they don't really reveal anything new. But one of my students, just before the show started, said that there was a indication that it pointed to the driver. So I don't know. So don't quote me on that. That's just what I was told today. But certainly on the news, they said there was not much new. So what I plan to do today is to cover the JFK assassination. Now, this will take place over two shows because I've got 200 reversals on the whole thing, more than 200 actually. I researched the whole thing back in 2016, looked right into the assassination. I've got reversals. I'll tell you who I've got. I've got reversals on Billy Graham, Eisenhower, Senator Cooper, Dulles, head of the CIA, Eisenhower. One of the real assassinations of JFK. There are actually three, but one of them was the name of James Files. I've got reversals on him. I've got reversals on Gerald Ford and George W. Bush. I've got reversals on J. Edgar Hoover, one of the principal people behind setting the whole thing up, although he was following orders. And these reversals will show you where the order came from. I've got reversals on JFK himself, of course. Got reversals on LBJ, also very much aware of the assassination plot. I got reversals on the Mayor Cabell of Dallas, Richard Nixon, Lee Harvey Oswald, of course, quite a few on Lee Harvey Oswald, on Jack Ruby, who was ordered by the CIA to kill Oswald. I got reversals on Congressman Russell, Harry Truman, and Warren from the Warren Commission. So as you can see, I've got quite a lot of material here. It's going to take a while to get through it all, so we'll do it over 2 shows. I think what I might do is I'm just going to go down the list alphabetically, okay? So I think that's the best way to do it rather than jump from character to character, and I'll fill in some of the missing pieces as I go. I'll try and go slowly so you can get all of this. These are all audio files. They're not video files. So, okay. So we're going to start off with Billy Graham.
And then the nation.
And let's just check the levels on this.
And then the nation, which is the world's leader, is thrown into a crisis, and the whole world feels the crisis.
I feel proud of it.
Feel proud of it. Feel proud of it.
So why is he proud of it? That's your first clue. Okay. So he's talking about the assassination of JFK. Let's run it again. Graham's muffled, is he? It could be the audio original tape, I think.
And then the nation, which is the world's leader, is thrown into a crisis, and the whole world feels the crisis.
Yeah, that's the original audio that was muffled. I feel proud of it.
I feel proud of it. I feel proud of it.
How's that volume on the reversal? Is that okay? Okay, so what is he proud of? That the whole nation has gone into crisis? Seems a rather strange thing to say. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the next reversal. I think this is a phone conversation with Nixon.
Yeah, that's what killed the whole, that's opened the whole thing. The whole thing. And I said this sentence, I said, many of the steps in the Senate were not then so dovish. Even Senator Fulbright, who introduced the now famous Tonkin Resolution.
Okay, this reversal says, I know Knesset was bad. Now, the Knesset is the Israeli parliament. We're going to get a few references to Israel in these reversals on other characters. I know Knesset was bad. So there's your first clue. Okay, so first clue as to who's behind it. We've got lots of others. I'm going to unravel the whole picture as we go. You had trouble hearing that last reversal? What, the reversal was hard to hear or the audio was no good? I'll play it again. I know Knesset was bad. Oh dear, we may have problems with audio quality. All right, let's try this one.
When are you going to crusade in Kentucky? Yes, that starts in about 2 weeks.
He's talking about going to a crusade in Kentucky. And backwards he says, I'm going to cause their pain. Okay, that reversal should have been better because the levels seem pretty good here. So he's talking about going to a rally, and you think he wouldn't be causing pain, but that's what his reversal says. I'm going to go to the rally to cause pain. So let's play this one again.
When are you going to crusade in Kentucky? Yes, that starts in about 2 weeks.
I'm going to cause some pain. Oh, their pain, sorry. Okay, not a good reversal to have on an evangelist saying he's going to cause pain when he goes to a rally. All right, let's try this one.
Really? This is Billy Graham. How are you? I want to tell you that that's by far the best anybody has done on Vietnam. And the U.S. be in tears. I really feel that I was in tears myself, you know.
Knesset to laugh it up.
Knesset to laugh up.
Oh, to laugh up, sorry. Knesset to laugh up. Is the audio still broken on these examples? I hope it's not going to be like this all the way through. I'm just hoping I just got a bad tape here. All right, let's try this
Well,
one.
I'm
Here we go.
saying that the first time I ever heard of our involvement was 4 days before he was inaugurated, playing golf with him. He said, we cannot allow layoffs in South Vietnam because of the communists.
Okay, he's talking about JFK forwards. Okay, how's the forwards going? Let me see. This is talking about JFK.
Well, I'm saying that the first time I ever heard of our involvement was 4 days before he was inaugurated, playing golf with him. He said, we cannot allow layoffs in South Vietnam because of the communists.
Okay. To be awful sad, Hoover shoots them. If I turn the levels down, see if that does any better. To be awful sad, Hoover shoot them. Could you hear that one? Okay. We are looking at one of the people behind the assassination, J. Edgar Hoover. So we've got 2 clues so far: the Knesset, which is Israel, and J. Edgar Hoover. Still breaking up and too quiet. Okay. All right. All right. We got a.
And the conspiracy
Okay. Try this one. This is George Bush. See if this audio is any better.
theorists can say what they will, but the Warren Commission report will always have the final definitive say on this tragic matter. Why? Because Jerry Ford put his name on it, and Jerry Ford's word was always good.
This is George Bush at Jerry Ford's funeral. And reversal says, and our man see the proof.
And all man to the proof.
Okay, so our man, his people, have seen the proof. All right, now we've got another reversal. Here we go.
Even the
So, so is this audio better now on George Bush? It was just bad audio on Billy Graham. I think that's what the problem is. I have the same trouble with my children's reversals. They don't come across very well either because the recordings are bad. All right, this reversal pinpoints another character behind the assassination. Here we go.
dark clouds of political crisis gathered over America. After a deluded gunman assassinated President Kennedy,
The crime avoided Ike. Okay, now I've got reversals on Eisenhower, so I know what this reversal means. It means that Ike Eisenhower, as he was called, was involved in the whole plot, but no one suspected him. No one talked about him. He was never implicated as being one of the henchmen behind the assassination. So when Bush says the crime avoided Ike, Eisenhower was never indicated as one of the people behind the assassination. So let's play this again. It's an important reversal. It's George Bush talking at Jerry Ford's funeral.
even the dark clouds of political crisis gathered over America. After a deluded gunman assassinated President Kennedy,
The crime avoided Ike. Okay, so there we go. So what do we have? We have three so far. We have the Knesset, we have J. Edgar Hoover, and we have Eisenhower. So there's three people behind it so far. All right, now this is Cooper, who I'm trying to think if it was a senator or a congressman. He was one of the initial people of the committee to investigate the assassination. And he's in Dallas talking.
Can you say if you still think it was one man? I don't believe that.
I think we'd better not get into that area, you know. The report will cover all of that.
Oh, this one isn't a reversal. This is the forwards. Okay, I want you to listen to the forwards. This is Dulles, head of the CIA, and Cooper. Cooper says in the forwards, I don't believe that. Listen to this carefully.
Can you say if you still think it was one man?
Can you say if you still think it was one man?
I don't believe that.
And he says in the background, I don't believe that.
I think we better not get into that area.
Hang on, back here. Here we go.
I don't believe that.
Right there. I don't believe that when he says, do you think it was one man?
Can you say if you still think it was one man?
And Cooper says background, I don't believe that.
I don't believe that.
I think we better not get.
Okay, there we go. That was the forwards comment. All right. So here's Cooper again. I know he was on the committee, the initial committee investigating the assassination. So here he is again talking about it.
We can assure you that every bit of the testimony will be made available to the press, the public.
Okay, the damn evil will be enormous.
The damn evil will be enormous. The damn evil will be enormous. The damn evil will be enormous.
So what it's saying is this is an enormous plot full of evil. He already knows there's more than one gunman involved, and the damn evil will be enormous. It goes way down deep. Let me play this one again. Tell me if the audio's okay on this.
We can assure you that every bit of the testimony will be made available to the press, the public.
The damn evil will be enormous.
The damn evil will be enormous. The damn evil will be enormous. The damn evil will be enormous.
Okay. Now we have reversal on Dulles. He was the head of the CIA. Okay, so here he is. I've only got one reversal on him, and this is it.
Even if you had 10 more commissions, you'd never get away from the idea that maybe there was a plot. We just didn't find any traces of it.
Was Israeli damned with their day? Was Israeli damned with their day?
I'm
sorry, it says tough was Israeli damned with the day. Tough was Israeli damned with their day.
Tough
was Israeli damned with their day. So this is the third reference now to Israel. Third reference to Israel. There's more. I believe, based on these reversals, that Israel, the Knesset, the CIA were behind it. Anyway, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We've got 200 reversals to get through. We'll just let the reversals gradually unravel the picture. Okay. All right. So here's Eisenhower. Ike Eisenhower commenting on JFK's death. Let me know if this audio is all right.
Mrs. Eisenhower and I share the grief that Mrs. Kennedy must now feel. And we send to her our prayerful thoughts and sympathetic sentiments.
Okay, so he's talking about Jackie Kennedy, okay, and how he feels for her. And backwards, he says he had to miss. I'll tell you exactly what I think this reversal means. The assassin had to miss Jackie Kennedy and did not want Jackie shot. So the assassin had to miss. So he knows all about it. Okay, so let's play this one again.
Mrs. Eisenhower and I share the grief that Mrs. Kennedy must now feel. And we send to her our prayerful thoughts and sympathetic sentiments.
He had to miss. All right, Eisenhower has never been discussed as being one of the co-conspirators behind the assassination, but I believe he was, okay, based on these reversals and the reversal on Bush, the crime avoided Ike. So this was a huge plot with a lot of people involved, As Cooper said, the damn evil will be enormous. Okay, here's the next one on Eisenhower.
Will the nation be all right in a few months ahead? Oh, I'm not going to predict anything of that. I just say this. The American nation is a people of great common sense.
I bring it in a kid. Don't know what that means. I bring it in a kid. No, I don't know what it means.
I bring it in a kid. I bring it in a kid. I bring it in a kid.
Well, I guess the assassin was a young man. James Files will be playing his reversals as we go on. I guess he was a young kid at the time. Don't know. All right, here's the next one on Eisenhower.
Now to come back all the way just after we gotten out there, and we had to getting our children out for the holidays.
I made you. That's the deal.
Like you tried to deal.
Ooh.
Like you tried to deal.
Oh, that's not a good reversal at all.
Now to come back.
Hang on, let me just play it again.
You tried to deal. Like you tried to deal. Like you tried to deal.
Yeah, okay, look, that's not a very good reversal at all, actually. Sorry about that. All right.
Oh, thank you.
Let's play the next one. Here we go. And Belinda has just said like, share, and subscribe. She's absolutely correct. We want to get this podcast out there. We've been averaging 2,000 views for the last few weeks, except last week it dropped down to 800 views, which was a big drop. And I guess no one was interested in Janis Joplin. Okay. Jim Morrison is still on the books. We'll get to him at some future show, but I'm going to be spending at least 2 shows on the JFK assassination. All right, here's the next one on Eisenhower.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President, and I most deeply appreciate your suggestion. Thank you, Mr. President. Only because of my concern for naming strength and health. I understand that.
Just remembered nurse, the gun result.
Yes, the gun result. Yes, the gun result. Yes, the gun result.
Well, I don't know what just remembered nurse is, but the gun result is pretty obvious. They got the result that they was looking for. Okay. All right. Oops, hang on. I've lost myself here. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. So here's the next one.
We are a
on Eisenhower.
Nation that where our freedoms are allowed or are observed in such a way that everybody is ready everybody is, you might say, capable of doing this if he's ready to put his own life on the line.
Now we're not.
I don't know.
Now we're not. Not too sure what it means. Okay, Christine just posted that James Files was 21. Yeah, so I bring it in a kid. There you go. That makes total logical sense. All right, here's the next one on Eisenhower. I guess these reversals are okay, aren't they?
We did not know the president was dead. We did not know when I got back here at that time that he was dead.
There's a reason now.
There's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason.
Yeah, there was a reason why JFK was shot. There was a reason. Here we go again.
We did not know the president was dead. We did not know when I got back here at that time that he was dead.
There's a reason now.
There's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason.
And the last reversal on Eisenhower. Here we go.
But matter of fact, we had the last message we had was one rather of hope.
We sent terrible headache.
We sent salad headache.
Ooh.
We sent salad headache. We sent salad headache.
All right, that's not the best reversal in the world either. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, next on our list alphabetically is James Files. Now,
I walked around.
James Files was a young hitman for the mob when he was 21. And he claims in multiple interviews that he was the gunman behind the grassy knoll. His reversals are all congruent. The first one is congruent with his story. Well, let's just see what the forwards is. So here's James Files. He was 21 at the time of the assassination. I believe he died a few years ago.
I walked around the railroad yard and I was waiting for the time to pass. Time was coming on. And when I heard the roar of the crowd, I'd been over by the fence and I got there a few minutes early.
Here he says, you mucked the map.
You mucked the map. You mucked the map. You mucked the map.
And he actually talks about it forwards. I was hoping it was on this forward section about how he was given a map, a layout, and he lost the map or messed it up or something. I can't remember what the story was now, but he talked about it forwards, about something to do with the map or the layout he was given that he messed up. And I can't remember it now.
I walked around the railroad yard and I was waiting for the time to pass. Time was coming on. And when I heard the roar of the crowd, I'd been over by the fence and I got there a few minutes early.
You mucked the map. He's talking about the fence behind the grassy knoll. He got there a few minutes early.
You mucked the map. You mucked the map. You mucked the map.
Okay. Then we have this one here.
My last.
Now, I think he uses the word David in reverse. And David was one of the mob guys. I can't think of his full name now.
My last instructions was we're going for headshot. If you have to take a shot, take it. But don't fire unless it's a necessity, unless you really have to.
I should get with David.
I should get the baby.
I should get the baby. I should get the baby.
I got a little bit more here. Let's just keep on playing.
I turned around and made another phone call. I called David Atlee Phillips.
There we go. There's David Atlee Phillips. Okay. So this is a congruent reversal. Okay. So let's play it again. Here's the forwards.
My last instructions was we're going for headshot. If you have to take a shot, take it. But don't fire unless it's a necessity, unless you really have to.
I should get with David.
I should get the baby.
I should get the baby. I should get the baby.
And then he talks about David next.
I turned around and made another phone call. I called David Atlee Phillips. I had a number to call. The call was put through to David Phillips, and he was notified where I was at, because I had not told him in advance that I was going to Dallas, Texas.
And why did you call David Atlee Phillips?
Because he always had to know where I was at, because he was my controller.
For
CI purposes, special operations, or something that might be needed done.
you were supposed to stay in contact with him?
We always stayed in contact. We had numbers to call.
What happened after that?
Okay, so David was his CIA controller or contact or handler, whatever they call him. So when he says backwards, I should get with David, it's a congruent reversal. Now, someone said they thought it said I should get the baby, but there's definitely a very strong D at the end of David. I'll play it again.
My last instructions was we're going for headshot. If you have to take a shot, take it. But don't fire unless it's a necessity, unless you really have to.
Okay, there's quite a strong D at the end of David. Listen to it.
I should get the baby.
I should get the baby. I should get the baby.
There we go.
I turned around and made another.
All right, here's the next reversal on James Files. Here's the forwards.
Motorcade, the best of my recollection, to me and my mind and everything is slowed down at this point. When the first shot went off, it's like it stopped. It's just like it slowed down almost to crawl or barely moving, or maybe it even stopped. I'm not really sure on that point.
And here he says, I know I shoot.
I know I sure.
I know I sure. I know I sure.
Yeah, the T on shoot's not very strong on that one. All right, look, the next reversal is the real one. Okay, this is the smoking gun. This reversal coming up. So he's talking about how he actually shot JFK.
Did you ever notice if any of those rounds hit that sign?
No, I don't know if anybody else has did or not. As far as I know, their round never hit it. I know my round didn't hit it. Like I say, I fired one shot. I was on target.
So he's talking about rounds forward. I fired one shot. I was on target. And backwards, he says, hit him with my round.
It ended my round.
It ended my round. It ended my round.
Totally congruent reversal. Absolutely congruent. Here we have the actual gunman behind the grassy knoll telling us forwards and then confirming it backwards. Here we go.
Did you ever notice if any of those rounds hit that sign?
No. I don't know if anybody else's did or not. As far as I know, their round never hit it. I know my round didn't hit it. Like I say, I fired one shot. I was on target.
And hit him with my round.
It ended my round.
It ended my round. It ended my round.
You've just heard the real assassin of JFK confess it forwards as well as backwards. Now, I've got a little bit more. Let's just play a little bit more of the file.
And once I pull the trigger, I'm right in on it. And it's almost like looking 6 feet away through the scope. As I squeezed, take off my round, his head moved forward. I missed, and I coming right along the temple, just right behind the eye.
All right, we're going to play all this one again because this is the significant one. This is the smoking gun. This is a real assassin, James Files. He was a hitman for the mob, and he took his orders from David Phillips, who was his controller with the CIA. Okay, so we have Israel, we have Eisenhower, we have the mob, we have the CIA. As Cooper said, the damn evil will be enormous. So here's the forwards again.
Did you ever notice if any of those rounds hit that sign?
No. I don't know if anybody else's did or not. As far as I know, their round never hit it. I know my round didn't hit it. Like I say, I fired one shot. I was on target.
Hit him with my round.
It ended my round.
It ended my round. It ended my round.
And then he goes on and says this next.
And once I pull the trigger, I'm right in on it. And it's almost like looking 6 feet away through the scope. As I squeezed, take off my round, his head moved forward. I missed, and I coming right along the temple, just right behind the eye.
And there you have it. There's a real assassination, the real assassin of JFK, James Files, a mob hitman who took his orders from the CIA. Ta-da! That's it, folks. However, I got a whole lot more to reveal, I tell you. All right, here's another one, an obscure one on James Files. Let's just play it.
I went right to the car. What was going on around me, I don't know. I can't tell you what passed me. I can't tell you who was looking at me, and I can't tell you how many people was around. I had one thing on my mind.
Strange reversal. Now, Mum, I get nowhere.
I'm gonna get nowhere.
I'm gonna get nowhere. I'm gonna get nowhere.
You'd have to know about his relationship with his mother. It's got something to do with his mum. Maybe Mum never wanted him to become a mob hitman. Who knows? All right, here's the next one.
No, what he gave me, what was in the package was I disposed of a lot of it, like Secret Service identification. I didn't need that.
Someone just said did not believe James Files was the one who killed JFK. Well, then how to explain the reversal? Hit him with my round. Clear as day. Hit him with my round. I don't know how else you can interpret that. Here he says backwards, I am big.
I am big.
I am big. I am big.
Yeah, he felt like a big man doing it. Okay? So, if James Files thought he did it, then the reversals would say so. But all of his reversals are congruent, saying that he is telling a true story. Here's the next one.
I disposed of the little map, the last minute change. That was irrelevant. I burned all that stuff. I've got rid of all that. The only thing I kept was the ledger.
Oh, here we go. He burnt the map. Remember the first reversal I played? You mucked the map. I told you there was something about the map. Here, let's listen to this forwards.
I disposed of the little map, the last minute change. That was.
I disposed the map, photo of the map.
I disposed of the little map, the last minute change. That was irrelevant. I burned all that stuff. I've got rid of all that. The only thing I kept was the ledger.
You keep a plan. You tell a plan.
You tell a plan.
You tell us, ma'am. You tell us, ma'am.
Yeah, he's just telling the plan. Just relaying what happened and the things behind it. Okay. So anyway, he burnt the map. The first reversal was about the map, wasn't it? Okay. Actually, well, let me play the first reversal again. Okay. Because now we know what happened to the map. You can see how congruent this.
I walked around the railroad yard and I was waiting for the time to pass. Time was coming on. And when I heard the roar of the crowd, I'd been over by the fence and I got there a few minutes early.
You mucked the map.
You mucked the map.
You must, you must, you must, you must.
Question to David Oates. Were you ever threatened for your reversals? Multiple times. When I first went public with the JFK reversals in 93 in Dallas, some of the early ones, I've found a lot more, but some of the ones of Lee Harvey Oswald, I actually had a phone call. Someone rang up and said, leave JFK alone. And then about 10 minutes later, I had a drive-by shooting at my house. So yes, I was threatened. The FBI threatened me, told me never to go public with reverse speech or they would crush and destroy me, quote unquote, was their reversals. I've had an arson house fire. Someone rang up the day beforehand and said, make sure you're home tomorrow morning. We have a message to deliver to you. And the next morning, the house was burned to the ground. So yes, I have been threatened multiple times. I've had gunfire in my house. Long story. Yes, definitely. All right, here's the next reversal in James Files.
But Johnny Roselli said they only made one change in the route. And there was a map of Dealey Plaza, the motorcade route. When he looked at it for Dealey Plaza, he said they've only made one alter, one change in it. He said, that's all. And I said, what's that? And he said, they're going to go down Elm Street. So they're going to stop and make a detour, come around this little street here. And he held it up, and I kind of glanced over at it, but I didn't get a chance to look at it real good at that point. But I already had reconned the area, so I knew what he was talking about.
Oh, there's no reversal here. Oh, okay. I'm just talking about the map, I guess. Okay. Debbie says that's more than threatened, David. Yes, it is more than threatened. Now, of course, I can't prove it, but my son was murdered a year after I got home, and I believe he was taken out as a warning to me. That's what I believe, anyway. When he was murdered a year after I got home from America. Very sad case. Police never investigated it. They just put it down as unsolved mystery. All right, now we've got some reversals on Gerald Ford. Here we go.
A business which the late president knew had to be done and who would understand the process probably better than any president we've had in recent years.
Bring this unit.
Bring this unit. Bring this unit. Bring this unit.
I don't know what he means by that. Bring this unit. Don't know. All right, next reversal.
I can't judge the alleged reasons why Mr. Garrison doesn't want to turn it over, but I am amazed that any public official, any place in the country, would refuse to cooperate with the federal government in this regard.
Drag his sin out in the view.
Drag it and out in the view.
Oh, yeah.
Drag it and out in the view. Drag it and out in the view.
I think he's talking about Garrison, I would imagine. Not too sure what he's talking about. Huh. Okay. Here we go.
Public acceptance of the Warren Commission findings has diminished for several reasons. Number one, the critics who have obtained the widest publicity have either deliberately or negligently misled the American people by misstating facts.
And here he says, idiots sin.
Idiots sin.
Huh.
Idiots sin. Idiots sin.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's congruent with the Fords. Oh, here we have a damning one on Gerald Ford.
It might have been helpful to the commission, but I don't think it would have altered in any way the final recommendations or conclusions. I think we might have been helped by that information, but I don't think it would have varied our commission's conclusions.
No, talking about the commission's conclusions. And the commission's conclusion was that Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone gunman. All right. Reversal says, I'm the sham that made it up.
I'm the sham that made that up.
Well, you don't get much reversals clearer than that, do you? So I'm the sham. He was a con. He made up the answer that the Warren Commission gave. Wow. Here it is again.
It might have been helpful to the commission, but I don't think it would have altered in any way the final recommendations or conclusions. I think we might have been helped by that information, but I don't think it would have varied our commission's conclusions.
I'm the sham that made it up.
I'm the sham that made that up.
Someone asked me if our website sabotage could be from higher ups. Oh boy, I am convinced there's higher ups watching every move I make. All right, next one.
I have no recollection of that particular June 4th meeting or any pressure that the commission received for any definitive conclusion.
Made an effort.
Made an effort.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess he made an effort. All right. Next one. Here we go.
The FBI, and I use that as an example, undertook a very extensive investigation. I don't recall how many agents, but they had a massive operation to investigate everything.
This one, share with Bobby's hand. Obviously RFK, I'd imagine, Robert Kennedy. Share with Bobby's hand. They called him Bobby.
Share with Bobby's hand.
Huh.
Share with Bobby's hand. Share with Bobby's hand.
Oh, I guess he was talking to Robert Kennedy about the results of the investigation, etc. Okay. All right, here's the next one.
The commission had an obligation to follow a dual policy. On the one hand, to get maximum voluntary cooperation from all federal agencies, including the FBI, and on the other hand, to be insistent that the agencies respond and cooperate wherever and however the commission demanded. The latter requirement may have led some agencies to believe that there was an adversarial relationship.
There was a deal.
There was a deal.
Yeah, well, there was a deal. Okay. All right. Yeah, we know there was a deal, don't we? All right. Next one.
In my opinion, no investigation of the tragic assassination of President Kennedy can be complete without including an investigation of the murder of Dallas police officer J.D. Tippit.
Want to share the powerful, give doubt here. Wow. Oh, hey, Murray, I should have recognized your name. Okay, now I know who you are. Right? Yes. Okay. All right. Next one along. Here we go.
Was the possibility of a conspiracy in New Orleans ever even mentioned during the investigation?
Oh, yes. The Warren Commission made a tremendous effort to interrogate every possible individual who allegedly had any connection with the assassination.
I damn the sheriff now.
Again, this habit no.
Huh.
Again, this habit no. Again, this habit no.
I don't know what that would mean. Don't know. The authority? The sheriff? Damn the sheriff now? Who knows? All right, next one.
That Lee Harvey Oswald committed the assassination.
I share the assassination within.
And assassinated him.
And assassinated him.
You know, that's not actually a very good reversal either.
And assassinated him.
Forget it. That's not a good reversal. Forget that one. All right. Here is Gerald Ford giving a pardon to Nixon.
Finally, I feel that Richard Nixon and his loved ones have suffered enough and will continue to suffer no matter what I do, no matter what we as a great and good nation can do together to make his goal of peace come true.
I don't know why I've got this here. I don't know what it's got to do with the assassination. It says Bush mocked, seek the Lord.
Bush mocked, seek the Lord. Bush mocked, seek the Lord. Bush mocked, seek the Lord.
Don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know at all. All right, next one.
I do believe that the buck stops here, that I cannot rely upon public opinion polls to tell me what is right.
I stop with the deal.
I stop with that deal. I stop with that deal. I stop with that deal.
I don't know why I've got these on the pardon. I don't know why I've got them here. I really don't know. I got two more. I'll play them. I don't know what Nixon's pardon's got to do with JFK assassination.
I do believe with all my heart and mind and spirit that I, not as president, but as a humble servant of God, will receive justice without mercy if I fail to show mercy.
There's some more shit.
It's some more shit.
Huh.
It's some more shit.
Ooh, that's definitely there.
It's some more shit.
And one more reversal on Ford, pardoning Nixon. Like I say, I don't know why I've got these in the JFK assassination file.
Courts might well hold that Richard Nixon had been denied due process, and the verdict of history would even more be inconclusive with respect to those charges.
Your secret.
Your secret.
Huh.
Your secret. Your secret.
Don't know. All right, next one on the list alphabetically is J. Edgar Hoover. So let's see what J. Edgar Hoover has got to do with this assassination, shall we? Here we go.
But then a number of stories come in. We've turned Oswald into the Civil Liberties Union in New York, membership into that, and it's brought into this thing, this Cuban Fair Play Committee, which was pro-Castro and dominated by communism and financed to some extent by the Castro government.
A mug will fuck it up. Oh, this is Hoover talking to LBJ about the assassination. A mug will fuck it up.
A mug will fuck it up.
Huh.
A mug will fuck it up. A mug will fuck it up.
I don't know what that would mean. Oh. Yes, someone just said I'm constantly censored. Yes, I am. And stalked. Yes, I am. All that's true. I live behind a 7-foot fence for very good reasons, I can tell you. Elaborate security in my house, cameras and alarms. You don't want to even step foot on my property. All right, next one.
Usually it's the presidential car in the past has steps on the back next to the bumpers, and that's usually been one on either side standing on those steps at the back bumper.
Okay, after the talk, we set it up.
Talk, we'll set it up.
Wow.
Talk, we'll set it up.
All right, that's a straight out confession. He had a talk with people. I assume it includes Israel, the Knesset, and Eisenhower. And they had a talk, and then he set the whole thing up. Let's play it again.
Usually the presidential car in the past has steps on the back next to the bumpers, and they've usually been one on either side standing on those steps at the back bumper.
After the talk, we set it up.
Talk, we'll set it up. Talk, we'll set it up.
All right, then we got this one on Hoover. I'm told the audio's not good on this. So let's see how we go with this one.
And that the plastic top to it was down. Of course, the president had insisted upon that so that he could stand up and wave to the crowd.
And here he says, and I finance this evil.
Finance the evil. Finance the evil. Finance the evil.
Remember how Cooper said the damn evil will be enormous? Well, here you have one of the main instigators of the assassination, J. Edgar Hoover. Here's the fourth. He's talking to LBJ.
And that the plastic top to it was down. Of course, the president had insisted upon that so that he could stand up and wave to the crowd.
And I finance this evil.
Finance the evil. Finance the evil.
All right, next one.
And while they had police signs along the curbstone, looking at the crowd, when the parade came along, the police turned around and looked at the parade.
And I killed them all. I make you.
Ernest killed them all. I made you. Ernest killed them all. I made you. Ernest killed them all. I made you.
I make you. That's a threat to LBJ. I made you. I put you into the White House. I make you. And I've killed everyone else involved who can implicate me. Okay? I'm sure we'll find, I'm sure many people were killed over this. Let's play it again.
And while they had police signs along the curbstone, looking at the crowd, when the parade came along, the police turned around and looked at the parade.
And I killed them all. I make you.
Ernest killed them all. I made you. Ernest killed them all. I made you. Ernest killed them all. I made you.
All right. Who remembers the magic bullet theory? Okay, one bullet did all this damage. Remember how they found a pristine bullet on JFK stretcher when he went to went to Parkland Hospital? Okay, that's important. Remember the bullet that was found on the stretcher. Pristine bullet. Here we go.
In trying to massage his heart at the hospital, on the way to the hospital, they apparently loosened that, and it fell onto the stretcher.
I was talking about the bullet. Okay. Backwards, bullet, part of the deal.
Bullet, part of the deal. Bullet, part of the deal.
So this magic bullet that strangely appeared on JFK stretcher was all part of the whole organization, the whole operation, sorry. Well, we're running out of time, and this is going to take me 3 shows to get through all of this. All right, next one.
Neither of the police officers on either side made any move to push him away or to grab him. It wasn't until after the gun was fired that they moved.
But they're also not going to tell. Yeah, there we go. Well, they're not going to tell what really happened. Wow. All right, next one. Here we go.
He's the one that did it. B, the man he's after, was the president. C, he would have hit him 3 times except the government turned. I think that's correct. 4, that there's no connection.
Cowards fuck it up.
Cowards fuck it up.
Huh.
Cowards fuck it up. Cowards fuck it up.
Yeah, well, someone fucked it up. A mug will fuck it up. Cowards fuck it up. There was obviously something about the whole operation behind it that didn't work properly. All right, here's another one on Hoover.
How many shots were fired? 3. Yeah, fired 3. I know there was another hit. All 3 at the president, and we have them. 2 of the shots fired at the president were splintered, but they had characteristics on them so that our ballistic expert was able to prove that they were fired by this gun. The third shot, which hit the president, he was hit for the first and the third. The second shot hit the governor.
And the truth of epitome. What does epitome mean? Someone Google that for me. And the truth of epitome.
And the truth of epitome.
There it is.
And the truth of epitome. And the truth of epitome.
And the truth of epitome. I should know what epitome means. I'll play it again forwards, and someone could Google it, maybe Chris, and just post it in the chat here.
How many shots were fired? 3. Yeah, fired 3. I know there was another hit. All 3 at the president, and we have them. 2 of the shots fired at the president were splintered, but they had characteristics on them so that our ballistic expert was able to prove that they were fired by this gun. The third shot, which hit the president, he was hit for the first and the third. The second shot hit the governor.
And the truth of epitome.
And the truth of epitome.
Huh.
And the truth of epitome. And the truth of epitome.
All right, here he's talking about JFK.
Because they accepted him as kind of a police character hanging around police headquarters.
He's a fuckhead.
He's a fuckhead.
Huh.
He's a fuckhead. He's a fuckhead.
Now listen to this one. This will be. I'm going to play one more reversal, then we're done for today's show. Okay, one more reversal. Here we go. A perfect epitome means a person. Hang on. What does it mean? A person or a thing that has a perfect example, a perfect quality. So, in the truth of epitome. Not too sure. All right, one last reversal. Here we go.
There's one angle of this thing that I'm hopeful to get some word on today. This woman, his wife, had been very hostile. She would not cooperate.
Hit inaugural mistake. In other words, JFK should have never been inaugurated. It was a mistake. And Hoover was involved in taking him out. Hit inaugural mistake.
It's an inaugural mistake.
Oh, yeah.
It's an inaugural mistake.
Absolutely.
It's an inaugural mistake.
All right, one more. Hang on, let's play it again.
There's one angle of this thing that I'm hopeful to get some word on today. This woman, his wife, had been very hostile. She would not cooperate.
Hit inaugural mistake.
It's an inaugural mistake.
It's an inaugural mistake. It's an inaugural mistake.
Yeah, that's someone that thought epiphany was an insight, but the reversal says epitome, not epiphany. It's pronounced different. Anyway, look, that's the end of this show, folks. We'll continue this next show, okay? I go on my vacation tomorrow morning. I leave. So the next show will be from my tent out in the middle of nowhere, and we will continue this then. Don't forget, my trip to America is coming up in August. If any of you want to come to one of my lectures or workshops in Dallas, Atlanta, or North Carolina, they're the 3 places I'll be lecturing at. Email me at backwards@reversespeech.com. Thank you very much, everyone, and we will see you all next week. Bye.